Hello and welcome back to Universal Laws with Christy Sturdivant. I am so excited. I am here today with Candace Bethel, whom I just recently met at a retreat, and she is fascinating because she is a somatic therapist and energy coach, but she really does frequency medicine, which is like a very fascinating thing, healing your body through energy. And I'm just super excited to have her on here. Thank you for coming, Candace.
Thank you for having me, Christy. I am so excited to be here. And yes, I am a somatic therapist and energy coach, but what I've really moved into is frequency medicine because at the end of the day, that's really what somatic therapy and energy does is move frequencies and change frequencies. So I just teach your body how to feel good in its correct frequencies.
Oh, it's so very cool. So, one of the reasons I connected with Candace at the retreat is because she is also a fellow human design enthusiast, I guess we could say. And so, but she has a very different way of like working with human design versus, well, like anybody else. We all have different ways we do it, but she does it really through through how it works in your body and where you're holding it in your body. And so I had to have her on for this month of where we're talking about the law of gender because she deals a lot with the divine masculine and the divine feminine. So, Candace, can you just tell me your take on the divine masculine versus the divine feminine?
So for me, I work specifically with the body, and the divine masculine and the divine feminine hold space in the body. Um, in general, masculine holds in the right side, feminine holds in the left side, and and front is feminine, back is feminine. So there's also different aspects of that they move through. Um, but the energy of the masculine is go, 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 push, 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 do, 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 like must succeed. And that's the only way to do things to succeed. And we have been really, really, really conditioned to be in this masculine energy. And the feminine energy, most people think is this soft, beautiful, like lovely. They think of women, and that's not it. And the masculine is not men. It's an energy. It's not a person. It's not a thing. The feminine is this more holding space for anything really, but it hold right now what the feminine does is hold space for the divine or for the toxic and wounded masculine is what has been happening in our world. And we just kind of have to hold space for it to do whatever it wants because that's the only safe place for the feminine to be. And it eventually holds enough space for if it's in its right place, it's holding enough space for that toxic masculine to crumble and the divine masculine to rise. So when they're both in their right space, they are creating a harmonic balance in the body, in our world, and our energy fields. But when we're doing too much of one and not the other, so the feminine is pause, 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 pause to see how the masculine is being destructive. If we don't pause, we're never going to feel how we're being destructive in our body. Does that make sense?
Interesting. Yes, it does. Absolutely. Okay. So, since you are someone who works so much with the body, do you find certain areas in the body that this energy gets stuck when you are not flowing properly with the divine feminine and the divine masculine?
Absolutely. And that goes down back to like a lot of times comes back to childhood trauma, can come back to womb trauma, how the mom felt when the baby was in the womb. Um, and I know that may seem a little woo, but it's not. We hold frequencies, we hold energies. If something's not right, our body holds that energy in those places. So, for instance, we have different like frequency fields in our body. And we can just go with last year and this year's energy to, for example. So 2025 frequency was the freedom, expression, how we are able to speak our voice and feel free and express in our world, our bodies, and everything. So anybody who doesn't express their voice properly, who doesn't feel free in their body, um, who doesn't like create freedom for themselves in their world, was feeling extra pain in their shoulders, their neck, their hands, maybe even started to get thyroid issues. If you had Hashimoto's, that likely acted up a lot last year. Um, People were getting more whiplash. And with the doctors and nurses that I have spoken with, it kind of tracks with the medical field. The year before would have been like your love center, your heart center, heart attacks, a lot of heart attacks that year. Um, so moving in and up and out into this wonderful fire horse here, we are moving up into the stillness field, a frequency of peace, calm, where everything in your world wants to be still. And this whole decade is shadow work. So anything that is creating tension or disruption in your world, getting you to where your soul or your body can get to its peace is literally getting ripped out. Your body, your soul, the universe, whatever you want to call it, wants peace this year. It wants to feel still. It wants to be able to come back to itself. It wants harmony. It wants balance. And if you're fighting that, it's you're gonna feel it in your head and below. Anywhere you're fighting it, it's gonna go, this is causing my peace. So you can have hip pain, knee pain, leg pain, your foundation, all of that moving up. And it gives me literally, I can touch your body and it gives me a map of your trauma that I can unpack through where you're holding pain. It's kind of creepy for people because they're like, how did you do that? It's not personal. I'm not like, I know exactly what you were doing when you were 2 to 5. Your body holds specific frequency patterns depending on what your trauma is: pain, anger, masculine, feminine, guilt, shame, whatever you're holding.
Wow. Uh, that's fascinating. And it feels like it very much rings true when I look back at my life, which is why somatics is, or somatic therapy and movements is coming up so much right now because it's what
Mhm.
we all need in order to move through it. So,
Mhm.
what what kind, I mean, I know movement would probably be the easiest way to move this energy through, but do you have any like certain tricks that you're like, I go back and I do this and this helps like clear that out in a very efficient way?
Yes, actually, I'm glad you asked. Movement was actually my first thing, but it's not the fastest. And it's not my favorite because we can't always move. The first, th the biggest thing that taught me that movement wasn't the fastest was I'm an athlete, like an extreme athlete, and I tore a meniscus in 2022, and I couldn't walk for over 6 months. Um, and I'm a runner too, and it was the first time in my life that I couldn't move. So I had a mental breakdown. But I learned through this 3-day process of like, what am I going to do? Because I can't move. And how am I getting my cardio in? That breath work and sound frequency through using your own voice clears trauma, clears trauma, um, and raises frequency and moves this energy faster than anything else does. I know that sounds simple, and it really is. Like the things that we need to do are much more simple than we allow them to be. It doesn't need to be complicated. We just live in this very complicated world. And so when I tell people that it's really simple, it's just not easy. It's hard for them to believe me. And I have 6-month program that I teach people how to feel their own energy. And the first whole month of it is just literally learning what your own personal energy feels like so that other people's energy doesn't affect you so much.
I think that is a very helpful thing to know what your own energy feels like. But as someone who I have an undefined head center and I have an undefined ashna, so I'm constantly questioning, like, is this really my energy? Is this someone else's energy? It's
Hmm.
very difficult
Right.
to get out of your own head and be like, is this really what it is? Am I doing this enough? I mean, this is a lot of, I've got a lot of Virgo in my chart, so I'm constantly over analyzing things. And it can't be like this, it can't be this simple. But how do you know when
Right.
you're on your own energy? What does it feel like? Is there some kind of like divine moment where
Mm.
you're just like, this is it?
Yeah. There is. I don't know what that is for everybody, but I know that for like each one of my clients, they've had that. I had that personally. I call it the crossing over.
Ooh,
Once
I like
you've
that.
crossed over, you never go back. It's not that you don't feel pain and you don't feel things. It's that you know how good you are supposed to feel and your energy is the most beautiful feeling you've ever felt. And I know for people that are have a lot of anxiety, maybe a lot of guilt, shame, wake up in the morning and don't feel good, that what I'm saying may be hard to believe, but I was you. I couldn't sleep. I used to go down this negative hole of hell. I literally hated everything in my world, especially myself. Um, and my incarnation cross is love. So I'm here to love everybody. And that's in my human design. I was really hated. So, so angry about that when I first found out about it. And I was like, there's no way. But I took it as a challenge and it took so many years. I would say it probably took me like whole 9 to 10 years to really truly fully love myself and be able to say that out loud without like feeling like I was lying and to really feel like I truly love myself without being triggered. So it took me longer than like a 7-year process, but I can say that now and I can confidently tell you that I know how to get there and I know how to make you feel it really quickly and then we just keep feeling it and feeling it and feeling it until that energy grows enough that you come to this place where you feel your own energy at least 50% of the day versus just like, what is happening and why do I'm doing this? And getting up and go. We stop, we pause, we like feel our own energy. And in the beginning, it's just for a couple minutes. Like, we don't need to do it for a long time. We are reprogramming. We are not like just transforming. It takes time. There's not this like big, that happens. It's these little shifts that happen over time and then one day you wake up and you're like, oh, I feel good. And it might be for the first time in your life. I was 33 when I woke up and I felt good for the first time in my life. And I really like couldn't remember before then when I had felt good. And I had kids at this point in time. I had already done some damage. But but we can fix all of that.
I think that is what is the light at the end of the tunnel, right? Like when you hear someone who is like, yeah, I did this and it took me like a decade. I was just talking to someone today and I said, oh, yeah, I've been doing this like reprogramming of my mind work for 15 years. And they were like, what? And I was like, but I did it so that I can help you hack it for yourself because we are on this
Right.
like, right now the collective is moving so fast. Things are moving so fast that like you needed people like us who have put in the years of work and we're like, well, now we can give you a roadmap of how to get there. And so it doesn't take as long as it did a decade ago, right?
Exactly. I call it an expedited version. Like, we did this so you don't have to. Like, we did the trial and the error and the 1-3 profile on human design is like this obsessive research that just until you get the correct answer, you go and go and go and go and go. And if that didn't work, you move on to the next thing until something worked. And we just found like the fastest things that worked.
I
And
love one
now
threes.
we're teaching them.
I love one threes that you guys do this. I have
Yeah,
several one threes in my life, and I'm just like, thank you. Thank you for doing all of this research so that I don't have to do that. I just have to listen and be like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So
you're welcome.
thank
Research makes
you.
us feel better, but I
Yes.
do really highly encourage the 1-3s. Just because you love it doesn't mean we need to be obsessed with it. It's okay to stop. We don't need to research till 3 o'clock in the morning to find the answer. You can do it the next day. Promise. It's gonna be okay.
That's good. That's good. It's a good disclaimer right now. Like, we don't need to go down those rabbit holes forever. We can take a break, right?
No.
Okay, so we need to get into our body right now. Like right now, Candace and I were talking about this right before I hit record that we are right now as a collective on the cusp of moving from this cross angle of planning into this new era of the Phoenix. I think it was a sleeping Phoenix, but it's going to be like the awakened Phoenix. And that's going to be happening in 2027. And Candace was talking to me about how right now the cross angle of planning is a very masculine energy. And is the Phoenix energy, is it still masculine? Is it not so intense masculine, or is it a feminine energy? Are we like going back and forth with this? Because it's going to be like, you can already feel it if you are in tune with any of the energy at all. And it's just going to kind of like keep pushing and pressuring until it erupts in 2027.
Yes, and it is going to erupt. Um, so so yes, like most people in some way are feeling that something is shifting in our world. And it doesn't matter if you understand it or not, but you can feel there's a shift. So in human design, in the last 411 years, we've been in this cross of planning. And we are in 2027, we are moving into this cross of the sleeping or awakening phoenix. It kind of depends on, I think, who's reading and who you're asking and the big people in human design. And so the cross of planning is very masculine. It's very dominantly masculine, and it's build, build, do, do, push, push, go, go. And it's literally what our world has been built on. And it has been very successful. We needed it to build what we have today, but it's run its course. And instead of like being a really positive place where there are people in our world that remember it being a positive place, not everybody does, but there are some that do. It is now into this kind of very wounded, toxic masculine that is not good, and it's really, really not serving collective. And we can see it in everything. Like all governments globally, we can kind of see this like weird, what I like to call temper tantrum happening. Like, so think of the masculine, this masculine that has to leave. It's going. Like the energy of it's being cut off. Like, nope, we're moving into a different era. It's like, no, 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 nothing can change. I want it the same. And so it's like throwing its 5-year-old little temper tantrum. I will not go. No, 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 mine, mine, mine. Me, me. And but it's not just happening out there. That's just our visual mirror, right? It's just mirroring the collective sickness of of what people are trying to hold on to, and that's in all male and female. Somewhere inside of you, that little 5-year-old is throwing a temper tantrum about having to change. And if you can step outside of yourself enough, you can see that. So we are just watching a mirror, whether we like it or not, if you want to look at from and just strictly energy, not emotional, there are mirrors happening to us. And so, yes, that masculine is like done its swing, and now it's coming back to the feminine. And as much as I would love to believe, and I do hope that means that we're coming into balance, the cross of the sleeping phoenix is not gentle or soft. It is a very powerful, volcanic, like eruption. And if you think about it, women have been mountains. I heard somebody use this analogy not too long ago, and it made sense. Like we hold space. We've been holding space for this masculine. We all hold a lot of space for masculine joy, masculine energy, masculine success, but not for feminine, right? So we're still in this holding space, these mountains. Like, I guess think of holding space as your mountain. We build these mountains, and we have this, we are women are feminine in general, men are masculine in general. We both have both energies, but we each have a dominant one. And women have had to learn only how to be in their masculine energy so that we could be accepted and rise in this world. So we haven't really learned how to pause and be still and feel like the beauty of our feminine energy, the beauty of our own energy. And I believe, I kind of foresee what's going to happen in 2027. And before, it's happening before, but by 2027, those volcanoes are going to erupt. And it's not going to be pretty. It just isn't. Use your imagination. I could give you some analogies, but that just use the visual. You don't need me to tell you exactly what's going to happen in your world. We all have enough psychic energy to see, whether we believe that or not, to kind of see and foresee what's going to happen with that. Um, and there's in the Godhead, this gets a little bit more into the spiritual. So the feminine energy that we're moving into in 2027, I believe is Kali, the goddess Kali, and she's the goddess of destruction. So she's here to break everything down that wasn't working. And we are seeing that right now. Systems are breaking down, medicine is breaking down, everything is breaking down that wasn't working. Everything in your life is breaking down that wasn't working. It's happening for us, it's not happening to us. We have to step outside of the whirlwind to be able to see. Um, and and that's where knowing your energy to me is super important because if I know my energy, I can look in each one of those and each is any of that meant for me. If it is, I'll know. If it's not, I'll know. And I only have to take on what's mine. I no longer have to hold this space for everybody else, which, if you think about, is kind of gross.
It's a lot. And I think a lot
It's a
of
lot.
people are feeling that right now, right? We are holding it for the few who are causing a lot of chaos, I guess, or the many who are
Mhm.
causing chaos. And it does feel really gross. And this feels very intense. Like there is like maybe your inner child is not feeling like you want to throw a tantrum. Maybe it's like just so scared that it just wants to crawl into a
Mhm.
hole because it's a scary thing to think that everything that you have experienced in your life is going to be changing. But Kali and I vibe more with Pele. It's a very much a destructive force, but there's like a lot of fertile ground that comes up from underneath of it, which is why getting into your own body and feeling your own energy is so important right now. Which is why you need to go talk to Candace because she has an entire program on how to do that. And it's only 6 months, so you have lots of time before 2027 pops in. So,
Yeah, it
yeah.
really is going to be important before 2020. That's the biggest like thing that I feel. And I know that we all kind of feel different things, but for me, the biggest thing I feel is that if we aren't getting right with our own energy, we're not going to know how to discern what is happening around us because the lies the fear. Like if you don't understand that your fear is here to move you forward and your fear is not here to paralyze you, and you don't understand what your fear gates are, like those are really helpful. Those were so helpful for me in human design to understand that I am a defined fear. All of my gates are freaking defined so that every time I have to do something, I have to move through these like six freaking gates of fear, and they feel paralyzing. Some of them, sometimes I feel like I need, like something's gonna kill me before I can move through it. Um, but when I learned that that was like my next step, I was like, oh. So most of it's just stop in that fear and loop and loop and loop. So fear is not meant for us to like be in our body. Fear will literally kill you, cause physical pain. It will hold in your body where you are afraid if you keep looping.
Mm, no good. No good.
Mm-mm.
Got to get out of
No, it's
there.
painful.
So painful. So painful. I've been
Yeah.
there. Don't do it anymore. Okay.
Right? The
Uh,
body is just like telling you what you're doing is painful. Stop it.
and I know from experience that if you just stay in that pain and you don't push out of it and move forward and take those next steps, like your body will start breaking down even more. Oh, stop,
Mhm.
stop. We're gonna make you do this. So embrace
It
it. Find somebody
will.
who can help you embrace it.
You're and not just break down. Like if you don't listen, it's an energy. It first comes up as an emotion, and then it shows up somewhere as tinges in your body. I mean, like, hey, hey, and then it'll show up as pain or an accident, like a physical accident, motor vehicle accident. You fall and break something. I've worked a lot with motor vehicle accidents. Um, and then if you don't listen to that, then it shows up as an illness or disease.
Mm.
So there's steps that it moves through.
Yeah, definitely listen to those before it gets to the last stage because that's very unpleasant. No good.
No,
Okay,
it's all bad.
so okay, I want to I'm so lucky because I've convinced Candace to come on with me every week this month to talk about this. So if you have any questions, drop them in the comments either on my website, www.christysturtevant.com, or in the comments underneath this video. But is there anything that we can take away before next week to help us kind of start like feeling our energy and like kind of helping us clear out anything so we have a clearer channel to be able to discern what is coming in the next year, right? Like because we can feel it. And so to be in our own energy is going to be the most helpful. So can you give us just like a
Right.
quick do this 1 minute a day?
Yeah. So the one thing that you can do that's very simple that you can do anywhere and you can do quiet enough that it's not weird so people can't hear you, because a lot of what I do people think is weird if somebody can hear them, is just hum. Take a deep breath in through the nose into your belly, like, and then like hum it out the whole breath and repetitively do that. If you can do it for 3 minutes, do it for 3 minutes. If you can only do it for a minute, fine, only do it for a minute. But it takes about 10 minutes of doing that to calm your nervous system. So, but you will start feeling it before that. And at the end of it, I just like to take another deep breath in through the nose into the belly and hold until you can't hold any longer, and just feel what frequency your body's at. Maybe you won't feel anything at first. Maybe you'll feel a very, very low hum, or maybe you will already have done some work and you feel this really like strong frequency. Doesn't matter where you're at. Eventually, if you do even just a couple minutes of that, you will start feeling this like low, calm hum. And that's the beginning of your energy.
Ooh, that's nice. I feel like this is a really good time to do this. We are just a couple weeks out from moving into this Lunar New Year with this fire horse energy. So, like, gradually building up a habit where you are like starting to be able to feel your own energy and like kind of get in tune with that. This is a really good time for my fellow Virgo people out there. Like, Maybe start building some habits. Humming under your
Yeah,
breath,
it
right?
is. It
Yep.
is a super, super perfect time to start doing that. And my my next 6 month program starts February 26th, so it starts in a few weeks on a Thursday. If people are interested in going deeper, they're also just welcome to message me if they have any questions.
Perfect. I will put your contact information below and in the show notes. And gosh, thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to conclude about the divine masculine and the divine feminine before I pull you back next week?
Just remember, we all have it. We are all masculine and we are all feminine, no matter how masculine you feel or how feminine you feel. But try to feel which one in your body is pushing you the most. Do you have pain in your right side anywhere? Do you have pain in your left side anywhere? Has it been consistent? Did it just show up? Just notice and pay attention in your body because the energies are coming in to talk to us, whether we are willing to hear them or not. Um, and that's my message to everybody. And it's been such a fun time talking to you, and I look forward to next week's conversation.
Fantastic. Me too. And thank you so much for coming. And we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.